Yo, 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 it's Jeb in his house. Hey, yo, we're going to space, yo. Hey, yo, we're going to space. Rolling on 909s, making money big time. Hustle Uncle Sam on the taxpayer's dime. We're the spacemen in our space bridges. We gone from rags to buku riches. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. We a G unit, baby. And don't you forget it. We a G force, homie. That's a G level. We on fire like a blade of home down. See you later. But before I'm out, let's launch this Cap Simulator. We a G unit, baby. We a G unit, baby.
Hello everybody, the iLord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of G-Limit. So, today we're going to do a number of things. Hopefully we will finally get on the way of getting people back from Mars. Or Duna, rather. But I thought we should take this one contract here. Because, it would be good to have more in the way of carpals. And we'll also get some of these other contracts taken care of, including testing the main cell, which will be very helpful, because it's just one of those deals to where it has to be landed. However, what we'll do in the interim is we'll go to Orida, and we will get Orida transferred up here. You can see we've got a fair amount of things here, a fair amount of ore. So we can target Snap, and we will work on getting docked up. So I will see you then. Okay, we're getting close by now, so I'm gonna null out our velocity. And we will hopefully get this guy docked up pretty soon. So the idea is that we need this docking port free. And that will be something we can do by undocking this guy. If I can get it to undock. For some reason it has decided against that. There we go. And we'll take this guy. I think we should target the Ortog here. We'll try, at least. There's a... I guess the Ortog is what we're targeting. I hope so, at least. And we'll get all the goods transferred over. We need maybe close to 2 trips for this to happen. And why don't we just click on this guy here and target Orida. Okay, there we go. He should be docked now. And it's really just a matter of us transferring stuff into this tug. Now, one of the things you'll notice with this tug, of course, is that as we begin transferring things over, the funny things will happen, like we'll suddenly lose Delta V, and that's really no mistake there. But that's largely because of the fact that... Oh, let's make sure we got the right tanks here. That's because of the fact that this guy... I probably did not spec out enough fuel. Well, if I can get this guy to open up at least, we'll transfer out. We've got about 2 more trips to make here. We need about 2,700 meters per second of Delta V in order to make this happen. Or not 2,700, 2,700 ore, rather. That is Obviously. Whoa, that is, gotta do something about that quick. We also have data to transmit, of course. Just, undock and do that now. Okay, there we go. We are docked in. While we're at it, we have some data we have to send out. Just to get a contract. It'll help us. And we might as well refuel. Because you never know when that fuel will come in handy. We will leave a small amount of it in here eventually. And the reason behind that, of course, is so that we may come through and jettison this thing, because I do not believe I had the foresight to put retro rockets on here. Well, this guy will be undocked, and I'll go ahead and get this guy docked back up so we don't lose it, and we'll see you once I'm ready to make our transfer. Okay, as you can see, we are about to go on our third round here, but I thought, just briefly, I would just go ahead and get this guy docked up, because we are ready to jettison this tank here. You can see we have a full load of fuel here. May not be enough though, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the liquid fuel you have here, and I'm going to transfer any remaining liquid fuel here into this craft. Which means we actually have a fair amount of Delta V here, but just to be sure, I am going to transfer one of these pods in here, because you never can be too certain about these things, just to make sure we can deorbit it. So let's go ahead and do that. That will get rid of half of our Delta V supply, but, you know, it'll help us in the long run. In fact, I'm going to only go to like 30 units, I think. Let's just decouple that node, and hopefully we will have enough in the way of fuel. That's my hope, anyway. We're not at a particularly good place to do the retro burn, but probably close enough. And that'll free up that other docking port, so that all I will have to do is perform the docking maneuver. And that means that Orida is ready to land again. So just to give you an idea of my landing procedure here, well, we're actually pretty close, come to think of it. What you can do is you can go back here, I'll put a flag down, and I can simply go in and do like so until we get to where we need to be. So I will land on the surface, and I will see you about when we are ready to perform this docking procedure. Okay, we have just gathered all of the ore that we need, And now it's really just a matter of getting this guy into orbit and back. Now, we don't have quite all of the fuel, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump out the liquid fuel out of the lander. Definitely, we want to be careful with this, because without sufficient fuel, we are not going to be able to recover this guy. And this would, of course, mean that we could leave Lizane essentially marooned, which we don't want to do. But, at the same time, I think that it is prudent that we do what we can to fill up this tank. And we'll just simply come around and redock it. I got a little bit more than we needed. That's largely because, I didn't shut off the drill fast enough. Anyway, this guy has to get into Earth orbit here. So the best thing for us to do is for us to perhaps just come out like this and get in as tight of an orbit as we can. That way there is a significant chance that we will return. Anyway, that should happen pretty soon. According to the game, in about an hour. Of course, with the magic of time warp, it'll take much, much less time. That's really the deal here. I definitely do want to clear up this contract as soon as possible. And there we go, maybe. We're in Minmus sphere of influence again. Oh, it's being a bit disagreeable. There we go, we got this contract and we're back at about 1 million. Only thing to do now is target the planet and fall back in. Could take a while. But if we point towards our target here, we will probably be burning retrograde. It won't really matter as much. We didn't spend much in the way of Delta V to get out. But we just went and escape here. There we go. Minmus apoapsis. At 37 in 6 minutes, and that is an interesting orbit we're taking, to say the least. It is giving us a little bit in the way of perturbation. And it's being indecisive as well. Are we in Minmus sphere of influence? We are. Let's see, is there anything we could possibly adjust our inclination? Though it may not actually be necessary. Okay, we are coming in now, and we should hopefully be lined up for docking. We have about 75 days left before we attempt our other thing. And I'm just going to move in just a little bit closer here. A little bit more quickly. But so far, this mission was a success, if not completely drawn out. We got a number of assets up to Minmus, and I think that's a good place to start. The main thing, of course, will be what is left here. So we have 8 contracts. We could do Heidi. I'm not going to do any more ore extraction for a while. I think we got enough Kerbals to rescue, however. And so, I think we should move on to the next task. Okay, so we are now back, and we have the Beta Flyer here. Now, the Beta Flyer is sort of a special kind of craft, because it is our first craft which has the turbojet in it. And I just need to unlock this Mark 1 pod, and we can get out to the runway. Well, I guess we need the circular intake too. We will throw that in. And let's go ahead and take off. We're gonna need to do some things, of course. No matter what seems to happen, I seem to find myself not really flying planes all that much. But, for whatever reason, that's okay. Whoa. Well, what's up with that? We're just going to, sticky keys. Yeah, we will, go at military speed here, and get ourselves up into the atmosphere. And, we'll get up to speed quite quickly. I think we have to turn south to get to where we're going. This is going to be a long flight, so I will probably see you close to the rendezvous for this first point. We've got to take a crew report above I think it's 18 kilometers. We could do that. But, we will see you then. Okay, we've got about a minute left here, before we reach our destination. And, we're doing pretty well. We got a bit of overheating here, unfortunately. But, hopefully we will... Oh, we need to pull up. To keep above that threshold. I'm just going to pull up just a little bit, in fact. And we should be getting a message pretty soon about that. There we go. There we go. Valentina's doing well so far. As you can see, we've had a bit of overheating, but that'll be okay. I'm going to go for Beta here, and the reason is Beta is probably the closest. At least as far as us getting to where we're supposed to go. So I'm going to fly on over here, I think. And maybe get as close as we can. We've used up about half our fuel so far. Okay, we're getting pretty close now. I'm just going to shut off the engines. In fact, I'm going to deploy the parachute and just sort of hope for the best here. We're about 200 meters away. Oh, there we go. We have landed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to step outside of this red hot capsule here. And I'm just going to grab the crew report, because we don't have to be on the ground. I think as well we can get a surface sample here, which would be helpful. I think it is worth just a little bit of science. Enough maybe for us to be able to use it. We have alpha over here, and then over here we have gamma. So the name of the game here is going to be to very slowly creep on over here, because I don't really trust this thing to make it over there in one piece if we don't. So we're just going to taxi on over there, and I will cut that out because this is incredibly slow. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. We nearly tipped over, but we're now inside Alpha. Let me just get out of the cockpit here. Might as well turn on the brakes as well so we don't lose Valentina. Then we'll grab a crew report. So we'll grab a crew report. Oh wait, we have to get the crew report, the EVA report here. Okay, last guy should only take a couple of minutes. Okay, here we go. We're in place now. It's probably will seem like a real short mission, but I've been waiting to complete this for a very long time. It's because of that altitude record. It's very difficult to do with the Wilsey. Or the Wheezy, or whatever it's called. Is it Wilsey? Is it Wheezy? I can't remember. But let's go back to our contracts. I mean, we do already have some science available. But let's see what we have. I think Heidi, after all, would be good to rescue. We need more Kerbals, because we're going to start sending them out, and we need to train them. Interesting. I am hesitant to take this, but I think our next mission will permit this to happen. Possibly. Main thing is, of course, that we've got to get it up. These guys want to be on a suborbital space flight around the moon. We have no way of getting them back, unfortunately. Could take a while. It would be easy money, though. I do, however, want to get another kind of contract here. That would be interesting, but that's not going to be it. That is tempting. As tempting as it is, I'm going to skip it. I'm actually looking... Okay, we'll take that. I'm looking to get a satellite, a new orbital station around Kerbin. Actually, we do need to do that. We need a cupola on it. But I think we can handle that. That part's not going to be difficult, I don't think. We'll go ahead and put that into orbit because we could use the money. Or at least I think we can. And we do need... Oh, that needs to support 8, though. Okay, perhaps not. Let's see. It's a recovery that I'm not really into. That'll have to wait until we get our Eve contracts. That right there is terribly tempting. And I think we can do it. We can make it something for our next thing. We don't have to return to Kerbin, do we? I don't know. I'll get it anyhow. Let's just go ahead, however, and grab that science data from space around Duna, because it'll, if nothing else, find one or two missions that we really do want to take care of. Let's see. It's not the red mod. It's this guy, I think, that has our science. We do have to have science from Duna, fortunately. Or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. Unfortunately for us, a lot of these contracts are no comms device. I did not think that one through, did I? But that's okay. We have the Dom, which has not seen any action in some time. Bob's just kinda hanging around in orbit. What crew report do we have in there? Oh, we never sent that. Well, that's good to know, actually. It helps with the grind. But I'm looking for a space station contract, because I want to get some hardware up before we really get anybody going. So let me see if I make that happen. Okay, we got our contract. I'm going to do a couple of these, because let me show you what I've built that I do want to get up into orbit. It occurs to me that we have the need to start shuttling people around. And if we take a look at this guy, I've created the ITS Dauntless, which is basically this nuclear-powered transportation vessel. It can take up to 10. And that'll be very useful for us. I also, in addition to that, I want to send up another thing as well. I've created the Tektite rather, launcher. These things are all quite expensive, and that's because it's heavy hardware. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put up that space station, and I'm going to need to do some editing, so I will see you after I get the MOP core modules somewhat sorted out. Okay, here we go. We have the KSS core module, which differs largely in the fact that it has room for 12 Kerbals. And I think that that'll be important for a central hub. We need a lot of places for Kerbals to stay. Because the plan will be is that we'll have multiple of those Dauntless class vehicles. So I'm going to go ahead and get this up into orbit. Precisely what orbit I'm not sure of just quite yet. But we'll get it going. I think everything will be fine, although that may be a little bit wobbly. I'm going to recover that and strut it up. Okay, we are here now. I'm just going to get it, I think, into a 100-kilometer orbit. That seems like a good place for us to start. So we will see you probably whenever that happens, and I will see you just in a moment. Okay, that seems like a good enough orbit to me. We may, by decoupling, we may cause problems. We actually have quite a good deal of fuel here as well. So I'm going to leave it up here for now. Even though we should probably deorbit it, but we don't want the engine around anymore. So that engine's getting shut down. And we'll just put this guy into a northerly orbit so that we can easily reach where we're supposed to reach. Alright, let me go back and launch a lab now. That'll hopefully do some things for us, although we will have a new contract as well. We have a surface outpost on the moon that hardly seems worth it. Alright, I'm not going to rescue any more Kerbals until I take care of this, because that does get a little bit boring. Although it would be good, come to think of it, to have something where we could easily bring down our self-size module. Maybe also wouldn't be a bad idea to unlock this guy as well. Okay, so this is what I came up with. Hopefully it'll be enough. It's like 40 grand, so it's expensive. But I have this science module, of course. And on top of it we have a tug. So I'm going to go ahead and hope for the best and launch this thing. We may not have much thrust to weight ratio to begin with, but we should be able to easily handle this. At least that's the hope. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead, well, you know, I might as well wait for KSS to get in range here. Well, it's pretty close to us, actually. Let's just warp in just a little bit. And, we will get the show on the road. Okay, we are about to dock. It took me a little bit to get control of this thing, but all in all, I think it's okay. And we should be just fine. Let's just see if we have deviated too much. Well, that looks to be good to me. And that completed our contract. At a little bit of a deficit. I mean, we had to do 2 separate launches. But still, not too bad. We now have a fairly well-stocked station here. At least for now. We can hold up to 14 Kerbals, which is grand, to be honest. I like this. And we got some science out of it. Now let's just see if I can replicate that, and this time make sure that I get a contract that is worth doing for it. There's a launch stability enhancer. Build a new station on solar orbit. I could, but I won't. You know, even though that would actually more than pay for the thing that I'm trying to build, and that may be an okay thing to do. Anyway, I'm going to try to force this contract to come up. Okay, here we go. I went ahead and did at least one of these space contracts here. or one of the space science around the moon, rather. So I want to get this guy into orbit as soon as we can, because we have everything that we need for this, and we will get a thing out. Now, perhaps I'm just going to be a little bit too, I'm not quite sure what the proper word for this should be. I'm going to be a little bit ambitious with this guy, and I'm actually going to launch this crude, because it's about time we got some pilots up there, and we were getting a relief crew anyhow. Let me just find that right there. It should more than pay for the cost of this launch, which is very expensive, by the way. So, 110, and it's really just me wanting to do this. But I think, we're pretty good so far. We have everything we need. We have the power, we have the antenna, we even have the the whatchamacallit, we even have the I can't remember what it is, the docking port. And we have 3, in fact. We can dock on top here if we find a small docking port, and we've got 1 in the back so we can drag cargo, and 1 in the front. That's really not too much here. But the Dauntless is going to be a good thing to have. I'm just going to take Eichel and probably Dataki back. But we haven't sent Berzer anywhere. We need to replace this engineer. We're going to Minmus anyway, so we might as well. Other than that, I think we'll reserve the rest of these guys here for interesting things. So let's go ahead and I need to unlock things. Let me take care of that real quick. Okay, we should be good. The only thing worth mentioning is you may have noticed there are these huge wings on here, and that is largely because of the fact if we zoom out here, you may notice that this guy is constructed from lifting body parts, so we have to have the huge tail fins in order to prevent that from becoming a disaster. Another thing as well that we must keep in mind is that in order to go the direction we want to, because of the way this thing is facing, I actually have to push down. But we will get Minmus going here in a bit. I'm just going to rendezvous with it, and we're not even going to bother lining up because we have plenty of Delta V. But these guys are going to go over to Minmus and complete the construction of this, and we will see you when we're in orbit. Well, that is an interesting intercept there, and I almost feel like taking it, but I think we'll avoid it for now. And we will reach Minmus in some 6 days. We'll just kill the maneuver node here. We'll go for the SOI change, which it says is in 5 days. I don't quite believe that. Well, perhaps not. You can see we've got a bit of overheating going on here. Nothing that our radiators can't handle. But let's orient ourselves in such a way that we will get hit by the sunlight. And I'll go ahead and I'll rescue those 2 Kerbals. In fact, I may just go ahead just for the sake of doing it. I may go ahead and take that last rescue contract. Well, there was one, I thought. Let's not do that. Anyway, there we go. Ditrude. We'll rescue him, just because it's more money in the bank and more Kerbals. And we are, with a surprising lack of Kerbals, so I'm going to do that. Other than that, I mean, we should free up some contracts, and I'm going to probably end the episode, once I get that the Dauntless in orbit. I'm going to end it by getting this guy on its specific orbit that it needs. So, we will see you here in a bit. Okay, Heidi is coming down just fine. And, that should conclude most of our work here. We do have one more thing we have to do before we get to the Dauntless, and maybe a couple of things after it. Sentinel Mark 1, of course, is going to end the episode, but I found some contracts that are actually not a bad little deal for whatever it is that we're trying to do here. So let me just time warp down so that this thing can hit the ocean. And, there we go. We'll just recover this guy as soon as we can. And, what we'll do is we'll go to our contract building. Oh, Heidi's level 1, hooray. Now you'll notice here, we actually got quite a cool contract waiting for us. This is essentially free money, so I'm compelled to take it. Of course, I'm not really going to do any more, but since we have to go to the moon anyway, I'm gonna get the science data from around the moon real quick. It just seems like the best thing to do. And one thing we have to do is we have to take our mop module. We have a couple of things we need to do to it. One will help make things a little bit easier on us. But what we'll do is we'll go here, we'll open this guy, and we will rename the vessel to just Mop. And I'm going to turn this into a station. Well, that's simple enough, but we also have this maneuver node that we need to perform to finish our insertion, which, you know, we never really did. Let's just bring that down to some 30-odd kilometers. I don't know why we never did so. But we can't do anything about that now, unfortunately. Maybe we will get something to visit it to boost the orbit, because we have no real way of doing anything to alter that orbit at the moment. Well, let's go with the Dauntless then. I'm going to go ahead and we can do a correction here, which I think will be important for us. We don't want to overdo that correction at all, but we're on course for it. And once I do that, I will see you when I get close to orbital insertion. Okay, we're gonna probably go ahead and just briefly do this correction real quick. Won't take much to do that at all. You can see that by doing this very slightly, and it does like to jiggle a bit. I don't know if that's because we have something vibrating or what's going on. But let's go to Minmus sphere of influence. I will see you close to when we get into orbit. Okay, we're here at the descending node. I'm just going to get ourselves as close as possible to the inclination of the station. Which I'm hoping shouldn't take too much time at all. We should be able to get into within a degree, I think. Let's just do some RCS there to finish this off. And there we go. And we will bring ourselves down into a circular orbit around here. So let's go ahead and do that. That's circular enough for our purposes. Actually, it's quite circular, to tell you the truth. And it shouldn't take long. It's saying we have 37 or 36 seconds. So why don't we just get into orbit? Well, we're a little late, but that'll be okay. If we watch this guy here, that should be perfectly fine. The Dauntless, as it'll turn out, will even have enough Delta V to probably get back if needed. Let's see. We'll just... Well, you know what? That's good enough. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. I will see you when we are on final approach to the station. Well, I forgot to do the moon temperature contract, and I did an additional one plus a carbon one as well, but all of this popped up, and I think this is perfect for us. So I'm going to utilize it. Because why not? We are going to extract ore anyway, and we're going to be on the surface of Minmus, and this is free, just about. So that would be easy enough to do, I think. We'll clear out the mammoth first. We'll possibly use that other one to find some much needed resources. Let's just throw in a probe here. Because it's not like we're going to be able to recover it anyway. But there we go. So far, this is all looking pretty good. The ore harvester is more than paying for itself, and it wants a new surface outpost. Plant a flag on Duna. We could almost afford, at this point, a new, what was I going to say, to upgrade the VAB? But we're not going to do that quite yet. So I am going to come back and dock the Dauntless. Okay, I think we're close enough right now for it to make sense. for us to begin docking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, first of all, I'm going to detach this guy here and try to give it enough room to where it will be able to do its thing. We're going to come back and dock this guy on the dock, or the back docking port of the Dauntless, and the Dauntless will take its place. But what we'll do there is, let me just turn on SAS. We will target this guy, and we'll try to get far enough away that we could fit the Dauntless in there. Right, if we get it slightly in the negative. There we go. I'll go back to the Dauntless and I will get it docked up over here. So we'll see you close to that point. Alright, we're pretty close to docking the Dauntless now. Next trick, of course, is going to be to dock Orida. But Orida's not going to be too hard to dock, I don't think. We'll just wait for the magnetism to happen. Oh, we bounced off. Whoa. I guess we just weren't close enough. There we go. Now let's get Orida. And there we go. We are about to be docked. And now everything is golden. At least so it would seem. Now, there's some things we need to do, of course. I'm just going to turn off the lights for now. Well, maybe I shouldn't. But we need to definitely transfer. What's her name? We need to do some transfers for sure. Which means we need to be over here. And it would turn out this is the wrong side, of course. Well, what I'll do is I believe I will come over here, leave the hatches here. Let's transfer Berger on over. I can, maybe I have to click on the hatch, I hope not. Yeah. We'll transfer Lazane to the cockpit here. And we'll transfer Valentina back as well, because Valentina can get EVA experience. There we go. Now that that's taken care of, we have some other matters to make happen, because first of all, there is no fuel left in this. We took it all out, as it turns out, so that we could pilot one of the landers. And that is a bit of a shame, but that'll be okay. Come here, pump all of the fuel forward, and same for here too. We want as much of it as we can get. There we go. Looks like we need just a little bit more. There we go. What we'll do next is we will undock and we will land this guy. Now, unfortunately, I think I turned flags off, so I'm going to have to handle that real quick. But, we will see you probably once we get close to the ground. Okay, we are about to touch down now. And we just want to maintain the speed coming down. But, we actually, the place we landed at has slightly more ore than the other place, which is excellent. And we need to plant a flag, so we might as well mark this territory. I want to come down just a little bit faster. The speed we are now. And there we go. We're at 1500 even. We'll get Valentina out here. Because, she's never been on Minmus before, or really anywhere aside from Kerbin. And even though she's a pilot, she probably wants to plant a flag. We'll just do that. We'll call this 4.28% ore. Valentina was here. And that should have given us this guy right here, which is excellent. It's more or less free science for us. And now we just gotta get Valentina on up in there. I think Berger may need to step it on the surface too. Although I don't know to what extent. I'll just put him down there like that. And now, of course, we must get to the drilling. So I will do that. And I will see you as soon as all that is ready. Okay, we are back. And we have pretty much completed everything. We just have to send this guy out. I believe, in fact, our contract supports it as well. Oh no. That was from the moon. Well, I think we can get around that. Possibly. I will just have to see. I think I can turn this into a robotic mission, if it has to come to that. No matter. Let's just go back. Maybe if enough time has passed, we'll be able to, let's see what the penalty is for failing that contract. The moon. Oh, it's only 1,000. I don't feel so bad about that then. However, there are a couple of things here, like extracting ore from Minmus, which we just did. Might as well though. I think it's not a bad thing to do, because it is bringing us money, and money is a good thing to have. We could actually upgrade this thing right now. I just want to have some money in reserve, because we do have a big launch coming up pretty soon. But let's finally go to the Sentinel here. And let's just take a look at it. because all we have to do really is get ourselves into orbit here. Now, it may be possible, if we're careful, for us to get close enough by to it. I mean, this isn't a huge burn by any stretch of the imagination, I would think, and this far out, all you have to worry about is your delta V being great enough. It helps if you can change that just a little bit. But the fact of the matter is that we're going so quickly and we're so far out that that's all that really matters. So, let's get this burn going. And, I guess, too, I might need to replot that. I'm not entirely sure of it. The ascending node is going to move just a little bit. So we'll have to make sure that this new periapsis is about where we want it. I'm not entirely sure either when this guy disappears. If it disappears. Oops, I think we went a little bit too far. To present periapsis. I think our present periapsis is probably acceptable. Let me just add an alarm for this, and let me fiddle around with it to see if I can get it relatively close. Alright, that is probably going to be as close as we can get it, I would think. That burn happens in 36 days. Might as well, while we're at it, go ahead and start tracking, because we are in an orbit which would permit that. And we'll just go ahead and warp to the node. Okay, here we are. We have just a couple seconds to burn here. And I'm going to try and get it close. I'm maybe going to give it half throttle. So, which means I will burn 2 seconds in right about now. Well, let's see, what is our apoapsis? About where it needs to be, it looks like. I don't know if we can get much better than that. This is a little low, but probably within acceptable margins. And if we look at the contract, it'll probably say so, that we are on the designated orbit. So, that is that, of course. Let me just put this in an orbit where we can catch a bunch of sunlight, just so it can keep on trucking. And what we'll do next is we'll have a look at our contracts, because it's been more than 30 days actually, it's been closer to 90. Let's see what we can do in preparation here. Science data from space around Duna. Definitely seems like a good deal. We have this guy here, which it claims is prestigious. I don't quite believe it. Let me do some quick contract filtering here. And I will see you here in a bit. Okay, so I did want something for a station on Duna. However, I think this will do at least to cover some launch cost here. We can plant this flag here. We'll build the new station here. We'll plant the flag on Minmus, or on the moon rather. And then, if we can get one more thing that is not a rescue mission, because I've done enough of those. Science data from Duna. Well, it feels like it's almost cheating to take it again. After all, I did just do that off screen, and I'll probably do this one off screen as well. But we'll take it. At any rate, I suppose we will next look forward to getting some hardware into space and hopefully beginning our recovery from Duna. Until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see you later.